Hello, Helen here, welcome. Today's card's going to be a Mother's Day card, and I'm going to be using this new toy of mine. It's the We Are Memory Keepers quilling freehand pen. This is just the standard one. This pen has a nib that heats up hot so that you can heat transfer foil onto objects and paper and things. So it's very versatile pen, and I'm really enjoying having a go with it. You can use it on paper and card, but you can also do it on leather and fabric and ribbon and just anywhere that you want to have a little bit of foiling. So it's just a great pen. It has a brass metal tip, and that you can get different pens with different tips. This is the standard one. You can get a finer one. You can also get a thicker one, and also a calligraphy one, which has got quite a wide tip to it, and you can do the fancy writing. I just decided to go with the standard one because I'm only buying the one. Now this gets really hot, and that's what transfers the foil, but because it's got this rubbery area where you put your hand, it gets really warm but not unbearably hot, so you can carry on holding it no problem. Now this needs to have a power source of some kind. It's got a USB connection, so I'm just using it with a USB power bank, which you just charge, and I can have it right beside me, but you can connect it to a laptop or a computer or even your phone charger plug that you'll have in the wall. Now you can use this pen for just freehand writing if you've got a nice scripty handwriting, but I haven't, so I'm actually going to use it for tracing. So I've got this new honeybee stamp, Mother's Day stamp, and I found it was just a little bit big for the card I'm wanting today. So what I did was stamped it out on a piece of card with black ink, and then put it in a photocopier and reduced it slightly so that it was a better size for what I'm going to use, and I'm going to trace that. But the other method you can do is on your computer do some printing or some nice fonts in the words that you're wanting to do and print them out and trace those. And I've got a sheet here that I've got various different fonts and sentiments, and you can use any sentiment really for this. So it's just such a versatile way of doing a sentiment. So I'll start off by doing the honeybee reduced image. The pen takes about 5 minutes to heat up, so I've plugged that in and left that to the side, and I'll just get my tracing ready. So I've got a piece of A5 card here, and I've cut out the reduction image that I've done, and I've just stuck it on the top with a piece of washi tape so that I can lift it but it won't move, so I can just check how my foiling's going. And I've got a small piece of the gold foil that came with the pen, and I'm just going to put that underneath the tracing image, shiny side up, and then once the pen is hot I can start doing the tracing. Now I've left the film in exact time so that you can see how slowly you have to trace to get a really good image. I just tried a few minutes ago with and went a little bit faster, and I got quite a blotchy impression with the foil. So you do need to go very slowly and just carefully just trace over all the letters, and then you end up with a really lovely finished result. And that's how it looks. Now I'll do it, one of the ones that I've done on the computer. I've just done it in Word using some fonts that I have, because I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to use on the actual card, so I'll just do a second one and then I'll decide. I can always use the other one for another card some other time. And that's the second one finished. Now I'm going to cut it out with my favourite things, mini scalloped stitched rectangles. So I'm just going to have a look at what they look like with the die over it and decide what I'm going to use, and I think I'm going to go with the honeybee stamp one for this time. So I'll go ahead and cut that out with my die cut machine. Now to decorate the card, I'm going to use this new 3D die set. Now I thought really long and hard about getting this set because it was really expensive for me to buy it here in New Zealand. It was about $52, so that's a lot of money to spend on just one die sets. But I've looked at lots and lots and lots of cards and really liked how it looks, and I've thought about all the different ways I can use it, and I ended up deciding to go ahead and get it. It really is just a beautiful die set. You layer the different layers on and use gradients of colours and end up with this really pretty rose. Well, there's 4 or 5 different roses in the set. So I did end up deciding to purchase it, and I'm really pleased that I have, because I've actually made quite a few cards with it already and really love it. Altenew have put out these really great gradient packs that are in the different colour waves, just like their ink pads are. And it makes it really easy for this 3D set. So each one has 4 different colours. I've ended up just buying the 2, the cherry blossom and the shades of purple, and I just love the colours in it, and it just made it so easy. You definitely don't have to buy these packs to do the sets though. It's a really good way of using some of that scrap bits and pieces that you might have lying around. I've always put them aside to use later, so I've done a set of blues and a set of yellows and other colours that I didn't buy the sets of the gradient card with, so it's a really good way of using scraps. I'm going to use the shades of purple set today, so the flowers will turn out a lot like this picture on the packet. So I've gone ahead and cut out all the layers. On the front of the die set comes with the different shades and the different shapes of the dies to use. It did take a little bit of working out, but I ended up managing to find which one belonged on what colour, and so I've cut out all of them, and now I'm just going to glue the layers on top of each other. It's fairly easy with the guide. I'm going to use this precision tip applicator bottle, which I've just put some of my normal glue in to use for doing this layering, just because it's very easy to use on some of the smaller details. So I just go ahead and use the dark purple first, and then work my way up to the very lightest purple on each of the sets. For the one of them, I've ended up doing 2 of them because I'm going to need that many for when I do the arrangement on my card. And then for the leaves, I've ended up using a Distress Ink Shabby Shutters, and I just wiped it over a piece of scrap card, the strips that I cut off when I make my card bases, so that I can use some of those, and left it to dry, and it soaks right in. It looks quite dark to start with, and to me that was the perfect colour to have for the leaves, so I've used that and a little bit of scrap sort of an olivey green as the darker part, and most of the leaves only have 2 shades to them. I think I'd got the centres of the flowers a little bit mixed up there. That one didn't fit very well, so just finding the other one that I'd put on the wrong flower and glue that. Some of them have some really tiny wee pieces, so you've got to be quite patient putting it together. What I did was cut a whole lot of different colours out, and in the evening when I was sitting watching some television, I just did all the gluing together, and it was quite fun. And now I've got quite a few different coloured sets to do various different cards with. I have lots of ideas. I'm sorry this video is turning out to be really long. I wanted to show how I put each of the different types of flowers together out of the set in this video, so that I didn't need to show you in future videos. You could refer back to this one. So if you're not interested in seeing the layers go together, then please do feel free to skip forward. I'm making the main rows. There's one that's slightly more closed, there's a little bud, and then there's a sort of open flower that's a set of 2 flowers together. I'm not sure that it's supposed to be a rose or whether it's just a filler flower. So do feel free to skip forward if you want to. I discovered when I got to do this one that I had cut two of the same pieces out on two different colours instead of the other piece, so I went back and sorted out which piece it was that I needed and cut another one out. Some of them look a little bit similar, and obviously I got a bit confused when I was doing that particular flower, so all sorted. This last one is only got 3 colours to it. You don't use the really dark purple, so it's a lot quicker, this one. So that's all the pieces ready. I just, as I said, ended up making one extra one of the slightly closed rows, and now go on with my stitched scalloped rectangle with my foiled sentiment on it. So I've stuck some craft foam on the back of that with some double-sided tape, and I've just got some more double-sided tape on the other side, and I'll just peel that off and put that onto my card front, and then I'm ready to start decorating it with the roses. So what I plan to do is put some just a couple of flowers at the top with some leaves, and then the main arrangement at the bottom right hand corner, so they're on alternate corners, and it's quite a simple arrangement really. Once I've got the arrangement how I want it, I'm just going to use a piece of press and seal plastic, which is just slightly sticky on one side, and stick it down over the arrangement and rub it down, and then I can flip it over and do the gluing, and it all stays in position, and then I can pop it back. The parts that are going to overhang the stitched scalloped rectangle, I'm going to just put a tiny little piece of foam tape on the back, and that will just help keep it all level so it doesn't bend downwards. And I'll do the same for the top arrangement. I'm really pleased with how this card's turned out. I think it's really pretty, and I'll certainly do others like that. You could use any shape really for the part where the sentiment is. You could do one of the shape nestabilities, or you could do an oval or anything. I'll leave you looking at some photos of the finished card. Apologies for the video being so long. I didn't want to cut out any of the making of the flowers because I think it'll be a good video to refer back to, especially if you buy the die set. So thanks for sticking with me. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I've had a few new subscribers just lately, so that's great. Welcome. Click the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.